In the annals of history, few figures command as much reverence as King David, a shepherd boy who ascended to the throne of Israel and captured the heart of God. What was it about David that earned such divine favor? Was it his unwavering faith, his profound repentance, or something even more profound? Join us as we delve into the intricate tapestry of David's life, uncovering the hidden secret behind God's unparalleled love for this remarkable king. Prepare to be inspired by a story of extraordinary faith, resilience, and divine grace that transcends time. David's life story is a remarkable tapestry, woven with divine providence, human courage, and an unwavering faith in God. Born in Bethlehem, David was the youngest son of Jesse, a farmer and sheep breeder. His early years were spent in pastoral simplicity, tending his father's sheep. This seemingly mundane task was a profound period of preparation, instilling in David a sense of responsibility, vigilance, and a deep connection with nature, and ultimately, with God. David had plenty of opportunity for reflection and spiritual development during his extended periods of isolation as a shepherd. This time spent alone was not spent alone, but rather in communication with God. Here, among the flocks and fields, David wrote his earliest songs and poetry, extolling the virtues of God's creation and considering his majesty. His leadership abilities as the king of Israel would eventually be derived from the shepherding talents he acquired, which included keeping his flock safe from harm, guiding them to lush pastures, and seeing to it that they were happy. The defining moment of David's early life came with his encounter with Goliath, the Philistine giant. The Israelite army, paralyzed by fear, could not muster the courage to confront Goliath. David, however, driven by his faith and trust in God, volunteered to face the giant. Armed only with a sling and 5 smooth stones, David's confrontation with Goliath was not merely a physical battle, but a spiritual one. His victory was a testament to his profound faith and God's favor upon him. This triumph catapulted David into the national spotlight, marking the beginning of his journey from shepherd boy to the beloved king of Israel. David's character was a complex blend of humility, devotion, and unyielding faith in God. His humility is perhaps most strikingly evident in his relationship with King Saul. Despite being anointed as the future king, David did not seize the throne by force. He respected Saul as God's anointed king and patiently waited for God's timing. Even when Saul, consumed by jealousy, sought David's life, David refused to harm him. On 2 occasions, David had the opportunity to kill Saul, but chose to spare him, demonstrating his reverence for God's chosen leader and his deep sense of justice and mercy. David's devotion to God is vividly expressed in the book of Psalms, a collection of songs and prayers that reveal the depth of his spiritual life. These psalms cover a wide range of emotions and experiences, from exuberant praise and thanksgiving to heartfelt lament and repentance. Through these sacred songs, David articulated his profound love for God, his reliance on divine guidance, and his trust in God's unfailing love and mercy. The Psalms are a testament to David's intimate relationship with God and his unwavering faith, serving as a source of spiritual inspiration for generations. One of David's most remarkable virtues was his capacity for repentance. This is poignantly illustrated in the story of Bathsheba and Uriah. David's moral failure in committing adultery with Bathsheba and orchestrating the death of her husband Uriah was a grievous sin. When the prophet Nathan confronted him, David did not attempt to justify or hide his sin. Instead, he responded with genuine contrition, acknowledging his wrongdoing and seeking God's forgiveness. Psalm 51, a prayer of repentance, captures David's deep sorrow and plea for mercy. This sincere repentance and acknowledgement of his faults endeared David to God, showcasing his inner spiritual strength and his commitment to righteousness. David's ascent to the throne of Israel marked the beginning of a new era for the nation. As king, David unified the tribes of Israel, forging a strong and cohesive nation. His leadership was characterized by military prowess, strategic acumen, and a deep commitment to justice and righteousness. David's reign brought stability and prosperity to Israel, transforming it into a powerful and respected nation. One of David's most significant achievements as king was the establishment of Jerusalem as the political and religious center of Israel. He conquered the Jebusite city and made it his capital, renaming it the City of David. This move not only unified the nation geographically, but also symbolized the centralization of power and the unification of the tribes. David's vision for Jerusalem extended beyond its political significance. He envisioned it as the spiritual heart of the nation. To this end, he brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, establishing it as the religious center of Israel. David's reign was also marked by his military successes. He led Israel to numerous victories over its enemies, expanding its territories and securing its borders. David's military campaigns were not driven by a desire for conquest, but by a commitment to securing peace and stability for his people. His leadership in battle, combined with his strategic acumen, earned him the respect and admiration of his people and established Israel as a formidable power in the region. Beyond his political and military achievements, David's reign was characterized by his deep desire to honor God. His plans to build a temple in Jerusalem, though not realized in his lifetime, reflected his commitment to creating a lasting spiritual legacy. David's vision for the temple was a testament to his desire to establish a permanent place for the worship of God, a symbol of his devotion and reverence for the divine. Although God did not allow David to build the temple, he promised that David's son Solomon would carry out this task, and he established a covenant with David, promising that his descendants would sit on the throne of Israel forever. This covenant, known as the Davidic covenant, underscored the divine favor that rested upon David and his lineage. David's life, despite his many achievements, was fraught with trials and tribulations. His moral failings, particularly the incident involving Bathsheba and Uriah, brought severe consequences. The prophet Nathan's rebuke was a poignant reminder of the gravity of his sin. David's response to Nathan's confrontation was marked by genuine repentance, as reflected in Psalm 51. This psalm is a profound expression of David's sorrow and plea for God's mercy, revealing his deep awareness of his sin and his reliance on divine forgiveness. David's trials extended beyond his personal and familial conflicts. As king, he faced numerous challenges in leading and governing the nation. From dealing with internal dissent to confronting external threats, David's reign was marked by a series of crises that tested his leadership and faith. In each instance, David sought God's guidance and placed his trust in divine providence. His response to these trials was characterized by resilience and unwavering faith, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Despite his tribulations, David's life was also marked by moments of profound joy and triumph. His victories in battle, the establishment of Jerusalem as the capital, and the promise of an everlasting kingdom were significant milestones that brought him great satisfaction. These moments of triumph, however, were often tempered by the realization of his own limitations and the recognition of his need for God's guidance and mercy. David's trials and tribulations highlight the complexities of his character and the depth of his faith. They reveal a man who, despite his flaws and failings, remained committed to seeking God's guidance and forgiveness. David's ability to face his trials with humility and faith, and his unwavering trust in God's providence, are key aspects of his character that endeared him to God and secured his place in biblical history. God's mercy and favor toward David are central themes in his life. Despite his sins, David experienced profound forgiveness and restoration. The promise of an everlasting kingdom, fulfilled through the lineage of Jesus Christ, exemplifies the depth of God's grace. David's ability to receive divine mercy and his continued devotion despite his imperfections reveal the extraordinary nature of his relationship with God. David's life serves as a great example of God's mercy. God was merciful to David in spite of his serious transgressions, as the episode involving Bathsheba and Uriah, and he was granted pardon in response to his earnest repentance. David's sincere repentance and willingness to mend his relationship with God were acknowledged by this mercy, which went beyond merely ignoring his transgressions. David's connection with God is based on this facet of divine mercy. which is also essential to comprehending the mystery of God's love for David. God's favor toward David was also evident in the numerous victories and successes he achieved during his reign. From his triumph over Goliath to his military successes as king, David's life was marked by divine intervention and blessing. These victories were not merely the result of David's skill and courage, but were seen as manifestations of God's favor and support. David's recognition of this divine favor is evident in his constant praise and thanksgiving to God, as expressed in the Psalms. The fulfillment of the Davidic covenant through Jesus Christ further highlights the depth of God's favor toward David. This fulfillment was a profound demonstration of God's faithfulness and the continuation of his promise to David. The lineage of David leading to Christ underscores the eternal nature of God's covenant and his unwavering commitment to his promises. This divine favor, extending beyond David's lifetime, reveals the enduring nature of God's love and mercy. David's life offers timeless lessons about the nature of faith, repentance, and divine love. His story teaches us the importance of maintaining a humble and repentant heart, recognizing our dependence on God. David's unwavering faith, even in the face of immense challenges, inspires us to trust in God's plan and his timing. One of the most significant lessons from David's life is the importance of a repentant heart. David's response to his sins, particularly the incident with Bathsheba and Uriah, exemplifies the power of genuine repentance. His heartfelt plea for forgiveness in Psalm 51 reveals a man deeply aware of his need for God's mercy. This sincere repentance and acknowledgement of his faults are key aspects of David's character that endeared him to God. David's example teaches us that true repentance involves a deep sorrow for sin and a genuine desire to return to a right relationship with God. David's life also teaches us the power of faith and trust in God. From his early years as a shepherd to his reign as king, David's life was marked by an unwavering faith in God's guidance and providence. His trust in God enabled him to face giants, lead his people, and navigate the trials and tribulations of his life. David's faith was not a passive belief, but an active trust that shaped his decisions and actions. This steadfast faith, even in the face of overwhelming odds, is a powerful example of the kind of faith that pleases God. Finally, David's life teaches us the importance of seeking a deeper relationship with God. Through his Psalms, David expressed his profound love for God, his reliance on divine guidance, and his trust in God's unfailing love and mercy. These songs reveal a man deeply aware of his dependence on God and constantly seeking his presence. David's example encourages us to cultivate a sincere and intimate relationship with God, characterized by humility, devotion, and a willingness to seek his forgiveness.